Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mench. Yesterday, on October 14th, Arch Linux released their new ISO. Now, normally they do it on the first of the month. A couple times a year, they're a day or two late, but this time they're 2 weeks late. And I don't know why, I have no idea. So, the other day, I did a full manual install of Arch Linux using the new ISO. And today I'm going to do an install using the automated installer using the brand new ISO. And of course, if you already have Arch Linux installed, you don't need to use the new ISO. The new ISO is not for updating your system, it's only for brand new installations. Let's get to it. So I've logged on to the new ISO, and the first thing I'm going to do is set font tier -132B. That's better. Nice. I'm going to type in Archinstall. And it's just going to take a moment to load up, and here it is. So you're going to use your arrow keys to go up and down. I'm going to go to mirrors. I'm going to go to mirror region. And I'm going to go down to, let's do Canada. Hit the space bar and put an asterisk in, hit enter. And I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to locales. And right now it's set at locale is English US. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to use my arrow key to go up to English Canada. And now I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to disk configuration. Use a best effort default partition layout. Enter. And I use my arrow key to go down. And I'm going to click on the space bar to put my asterisk in there because I made this a 20 gig hard drive. So I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to use my arrow key to go to ext4 because that's the one I always use. And I'm going to click on disk encryption, encryption password. Put my password in. It's very weak, but that's okay. And I'm going to go down to partitions. And I'm going to click on my 26 hard drive, my 26 gigabyte hard drive. I'm going to use the space bar to put the asterisk in there. And I'm going to use my arrow keys to go back. And bootloader is grub. Swap, by default, it's set at true to create a swap partition, but I don't like swap. I never use it. So I'm going to click on, and I'm going to say no. Host name, I'm going to click on. Let's call it Arch Auto. Let's hit enter. Root password is my root password. It's very weak, but that's just for the video. User account, I always do that after the fact. Profile, I don't use, but I'm just going to take you into it. So you can click on type. Let's say we want a desktop. So you can click on the awesome desktop, PWM, Budgie, Cinnamon, Enlighten, and the list goes on. There's a GNOME desktop, IW3, KDE, Mate, Qtile Window Manager, Sway, and the last one is EFCE4. And like I said, it has Cinnamon desktop, so you can click this on. If you don't want to do a manual post installation, you can click this on and it's going to install it for you. I never use this, so I'm going to escape to get out of there, and I'm going to go back. And audio I always do after the fact, and also user account I always do after the fact. Profile I don't use. Audio I do after the fact. The kernel I'm going to change to LTS. So I'm going to use my space bar to take the asterisk out. I'm going to put the asterisk in here. Linux LTS. Hit enter. Additional packages. I'm going to do vim, git, and terminus. Font. Hit enter. It's verifying that those are legitimate packages. And you can use your arrow keys to go up, and it's C at the bottom there. I'm installing vit, git, and terminus font. Network Manager, you have to use this because, network configuration, you have to click this on because without this, you won't have access to internet. So I always like Network Manager. That's one I use. Time zone, it's set at UTC. I'm going to hit slash. I'm going to type in Canada. Use my arrow keys to click on Eastern. So it's on Eastern. Automatic time sync is true. Optional repositories I don't want. And I'm going to click on install. Enter. And when it's finished installing, I'm going to pause the video. This is going to take about 5 minutes to go through the installation, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that took less than 5 minutes and never even got out of my chair. So the default is would take you into Reboot to make some other changes, but I don't want to do that. I just want to power down and boot into my brand new system. I'm going to say no, use your arrow keys and go down to no and hit enter. And installation complete without any errors. You may now reboot. So let's reboot. And I encrypted the system, so it's going to take me to the encryption password. And I'm going to make this full screen. I'm going to hit enter. And of course, I just did a base install, so it's going to take me to the TTY. I'm going to put my encryption password in, and it's decrypting the drive. And the installer is working on the brand new ISO. Everything is fixed. So I don't have a user yet, so I'm going to type in root. I'm going to put root's password in. I'm going to type in this command. Set font tier -132B. And this command is only working because in the automated installer, I told it to install Vim, Git, and Terminus font. And if I didn't install the Terminus font, I wouldn't be able to change the font in the TTY for you to see, even though I was able to change it from the live ISO. So I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to type in this command. User add -m Mench. I'm making a user called Mench. I'm giving Mench a password. PASS password without the O and without the R. Password is Mench, and the password for Mench is going to be this one. I'm going to repeat it. Now Mench has a password. It was updated successfully. Now I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to vim into etc sudoers. Let's just set numbers. There we go, that's better. So let's go down. Now, most people would make the user part of the wheel group and then uncomment line 92. The wheel group. But I don't do it that way. And most distributions do it that way, and most YouTubers that show you how to install Arch Linux do it that way. But I don't like to do it that way. I like to do it this way. I'm going to copy root. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to delete the word root and type in Mench. So I'm making Mench all, which is the same as giving Mench, making Mench part of the wheel group and uncommenting the wheel group. I like to do it this way. Let's save it. And we're going to log out. Let's log out. And now we're going to log in as Mench. Put Mench's password in. Clear the screen. ls it. And there's hardly any files in there. So what I'm going to do is make dir.config. I'm making a configuration directory. ls-a. Now I'm going to install my GitLab repository. Let's do git clone https://gitlab.com/ artibus1 / mench.git. Let's enter it. and it's done. Now this command is in the show notes of all my videos. And I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to ls. I'm going to cd into Mench. ls it. And I have a folder for Arch, Debian, FreeBSD, Linux, Mint, Ubuntu. I'm going to cd into Arch. I'm going to ls it. Let's clear the screen. ls at 8. So I'm going to, if you look on the far left, the fourth file from the top in the first column is called AutoApp. I'm going to vim into AutoApp. Just to show you what's in here, this is going to install the Cinnamon desktop, the Qtile window manager, the Awesome window manager, Firefox, ad blocker, celluloid, Rhythmbox, Kdenlive, all these files, and also the codecs for music and video, everything that you need. File Manager is going to install PCman FM, Nemo, the full LibreOffice suite, everything that you would need. So if you want to run this, you can. If you don't want to run this, you can just download your own files, your apps and window managers and whatever you want to put in. So I'm going to quit out of there. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to do /auto. I put my password in, hit enter, and it's installing 891 megabytes. And it's installing 631 packages. So this is probably going to take a full 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video and come back. So that took less than 5 minutes. And I'm going to clear the screen. And let's cd into Mench. ls. Let's cd into Arch. ls-a. So what I want to do is, on the far right, the very last column on the far right, the second file is called run configs. So I'm going to vim into it, vim run configs, and let's just set numbers. So this file, I'm going to run this file. It's going to copy some of my configuration files where I want them to be, including the Awesome window manager configuration file and my Qtile configuration file. Also, it's going to copy configuration files for LightDM, and it's going to enable Bluetooth. So when I reboot my system, Bluetooth will be enabled, LightDM will be enabled, and it's going to set my firewall configuration. So I'm going to get out of here. You don't have to run this if you don't want to, but I'm going to. So I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to do /run configs. I'm going to hit enter, put my password in, and it's done. So now I'm going to clear the screen, and now I'm going to reboot. So it's going to take me to the screen, and I'm going to put my password in to decrypt my encrypted drive. Put my password in, and it's decrypting the drive, and now it's going to take me to LightDM, the login manager, or as it's correctly called, the display manager. Don't know why they call it display manager, but they do. So now I'm at the display manager. Click in the hamburger menu. We have Cinnamon desktop, we have Qtile, and we have the Awesome window manager. So I'm going to go into the Awesome window manager. I'm going to put my password in. And now we're in the Awesome window manager. And I'm going to open up my terminal. And I'm going to make that a little larger. And I'm going to see if my Zesh is working. And it is. And let's see if Zesh is working for root. Put my root password in, type in Zesh, and it is. So now I'm going to type in vim etc password without the O and without the R. And I'm going to go to the end. And I'm going to delete bash and put zesh. Then I'm going to go to Mench. Line number 20 is Mench. I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to delete bash and put zesh. I'm going to save the file. And I'm going to log out. I don't have to reboot now. I'm just logging out. And put my password in. And let's go into Xterm. Let's make that a little larger. And oh, zesh is installed by default. Let's see if it's installed by default for root. Put my password in for root, and zesh is installed by default for root. Let's click on Firefox. And there's Firefox with uBlock Origin installed. And of course, I have Kdenlive. I have LibreOffice Htop. And wow. So in this virtual machine, I gave it 4 processors, 4 gigs of RAM, and no swap. And right now it's running at 252 megabytes of RAM. Not bad. And of course, I have Rhythmbox in here, but there's no music. And what I'm going to do is hold down the mod key and hit P. I'm going to hit custom. Going to go Materia Dark. Icon theme is Papyrus Dark. Apply. Close it. Now I'm going to hit the P. I'm going to hit on power. And I'm going to go display. And I'm going to turn off the power manager or turn it on so that my system doesn't go to sleep and the screensaver never goes on. Now let's open up PCman FM, my file manager. There we have it. Now let's log out. Let's log into Qtile. Put my password in. And there's Qtile with my configuration file. There's Firefox opening up under dark theme with the ad blocker, uBlock Origin. Let's close it. Let's log out of there. Let's log into Cinnamon. Let's put my password in. And of course, Cinnamon is really ugly when you're installing it in pure Debian or pure Arch. So what I'm going to do is go to desktop background. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to go to other locations. I'm going to go home. And I'm going to go home. I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to go to Mench. And I'm going to click on this wallpaper. Now, my auto app installed 3 wallpapers. And my auto configuration or my auto run configuration put 3 papers in the home page. So I put these in there. So now I'm going to close it. And I'm going to go to display settings because this is a virtual machine. You won't have to do this. It's bare metal, 1360 by 768. Apply it. Keep the new configuration. Close it. I'm going to go to the clock. Date and time setting. Use 24-hour off. Date and time. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to theme. I'm going to go to dark. Advanced settings. I'm going to click on this. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to add and remove. I'm downloading the cache or updating the cache. And I'm going to click Adara Dark. I'm going to click it on. I'm going to download it. I'm going to go back to themes. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to click on a dark. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on, oh, wrong one. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on Papyrus Dark, and I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to go to font, and I'm going to change this regular to sans bold, kick it up a few notches, select it, and that's better. And I'm going to turn on the volume control. And what else am I going to do? Right click, applets, download. Now it's downloading the cache for the applets. I'm going to highlight weather. I'm going to click on this arrow to download the weather app, and you can see it's downloading. Then I'm going to click on manage. I'm going to highlight the weather app again. I'm going to hit this plus sign, and it's going to install it. And now we have the weather app. It's 9 degrees Celsius. And it has all the temperature there. Everything's there. You can click on this little arrow button, and you can do this. You have your hourly rates. There we go. So it's the best weather app in the whole Linux world. So there. Let's go to settings. Power Manager. Now I turned the Power Manager off for the Cinnamon desktop. And you might ask me, well, I thought we already turned the Power Manager off or on. I thought we already set the Power Manager. Well, we did. We set the Power Manager and the custom themes for the awesome window manager, which also sticks and stays and is used in Qtile when we open up Qtile. But the Cinnamon desktop environment has its own Power Manager and its own theming. So we have to set it. Let's go to there. And screensaver I always turn off. Here it is up here. Screensaver. I'm just flying through this really fast. I say never because I don't like it. And there. So I don't like the screensaver to go on. And there we are. Everything's themed nice. These are the settings. This is the settings menu. I have dark theme. And this is Cinnamon desktop. And let's see what Htop says now that we're in the Cinnamon desktop, because the Cinnamon desktop runs heavier than the awesome window manager or Qtile. So let's go to Htop. So the processors are quiet. We're running at 687 megabytes of RAM out of my 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's not bad. Now let's log out. Let's log back into Qtile. Let's do an Htop here. And now we're running at 320 megabytes of RAM. Log out. And I'm just going to end this show in the awesome window manager. Now we're in the awesome window manager, and let's do an Htop again. Now we're running at 325 megs. Not bad. And let's close it. So I just want to make sure my firewall is set properly. I'm going to make it a little larger. I'm going to do sudo complicated firewall status. And type in my password. And it's active. Let's type it in again, but let's put verbose. And it's active. Deny incoming and allow outgoing. So my firewall is working. So let's close this. That's it. So the auto installer is fixed, and it's fixed on the brand new ISO for Arch Linux that just came out yesterday, October 14th. So in this video, I just did a quick installation using the auto installer and installing all my favorite apps from my GitLab repository, and I showed how I like to configure the Cinnamon desktop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mench.